Loading sounds, loading images. Let's begin the Assistant's Turnabout by Enigma. I don't know anything about this game, other than the name and that it was suggested. Couldn't find any information, any synopsis of the sort, so let's dive right in. Uh-oh, late. Ah, that's strange. Chief must have gone home already. Said her sister was coming over, so we should all go out for dinner. This is... What's that smell? Blood. Yeah, maybe she's in her office. Oh? Is a Phoenix Wright 1 thing? What's this? Someone's there. Chief? Chief? Chief, are you there? Huh? What's this? Well, that's a dumb question. Of course you are. I bet you must be laughing pretty hard right about now. I know I am. Well, there's nothing really funny about being locked in a cold cell. But you get what I mean. You're the only person that probably does nowadays. And you must think of me as an idiot for doing this. It's pretty fair if you do. I never could learn my lesson. It seems that, without the badge, I always end up dragging myself to the courtroom. It's because I'm curious. Because I'm bitter. I don't know. But it's too late to wonder anyway. Because all that matters now is the truth. As it always has. Oh god, I really am an idiot, aren't I? The odds are against me in every way. The chances of this actually working are absurdly low. And yet this is the move that I'm making. This is the path that I've taken. One last big bluff to end them all. Cards are dealt. It's all in someone else's hands now. Are they up for the challenge? Let's find out. Come. Showdown. Whoa. Okay. June. Am I shaking? I am, aren't I? Oh, hello there. That's a familiar face. Me. I'm new to this whole defense attorney thing, but I think I've seen enough to get through it unscathed. Mostly. Badge. Symbol of all defense attorneys. I couldn't stand in court without it. Okay, very good. Oh, I can already tell this is not going to end well. Why couldn't someone else have just done this? It would have been a lot more painless for everyone, I think. I mean, this entire thing is just... Oh man, I haven't even eaten yet. I think I saw a noodle stand while I was walking down here. That should probably get me through the day. Oh. Ah! You okay there? Yeah. Sorry about that. Where did he come from? Okay, just calm down. Think straight. Prepare for this. Come on. Hello. I mean, my name is Rai. June Rai. June Rai? Junior? How do you do? Well, pretty much how a suspect would do, I guess. That is to say, I'm pretty cold. But hey, they gave me this sweatshirt to stop me from complaining about it so much. So I guess you could say there's a silver lining for everything. But in all seriousness, I'm actually doing pretty terribly. Thanks for asking. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not sure what you expected to hear, given where you are, Miss June Rye. By the way, the name's Phoenix Wright. But you know that already. I did, but seeing you in person like this made me doubt it for a second. I guess it's true what they say. No matter who you are, whatever you know about Phoenix Wright, what he's up to, is probably wrong. I actually heard of the saying up until recently. Which would make sense. Things considered, I mean. Yeah, I did. It would be pretty pointless for me to meet you if I didn't even know your name. Anyway, I'm here to... Hold on. June Rye. Rye. What does that remind me of? Sorry? Never mind. It'll come to me later. What were you saying? I was saying that... Wait. Whoops, never mind. Wrong word. Please continue. Right. As I was saying. Nah, sorry. Thought I had it when I didn't. Go on. Mr. Wright, you are accused of murder. Please try to concentrate and listen to what I have to say. Well, to tell you the truth, Miss June Rye, I already have a pretty good idea what you'll say. That badge on your lapel speaks a lot, after all. My badge? Right. You want to defend me? Well, yes or no? Quickly now. Indecisiveness is not the best trait for a lawyer to have, Miss Jane Rye. Actually, it's June. At least I think so. But I'm just a crook. So what do I know, right? I didn't say that, Mr. Wright. Ah, but the court did. Just as they'll say that I'm a cold-blooded murderer. Not if I can help it. So you do want to defend me. Not the wisest decision, given the facts. Trust me, I know. Still, a lawyer has to believe in their client no matter what. And I really do believe you're innocent, so... You're completely willing to defend a total stranger on a hunch. Well, I can't say that I haven't done the same thing before. That's all the more reason you should consider it, right? I mean, you are the Phoenix Wright, no matter what anyone might say. I think I finally figured out what your name was reminding me of. Lucky for you, too. The only lawyers I'd left defend me are ones I know are right. And here I thought my name was just a kind of bread. Alright, Miss Joan Rye, I'm in your hands. Don't say I didn't warn you, though. Alright. What did you do, Phoenix Wright? Oh, we're gonna find out. Oh, I like this music. You can tell a lot about a defense attorney from their badge. Where they've been, what they've seen, what kind of person they are like. When we present our badges, we're really putting our hearts on display. You could really tell all that from a person's badge? Sure, every badge has a story to tell about its owner. And what does my badge say about me? Beats me. How am I supposed to know? Okay, that was good. I should have known you were just making things up. What happened? Alright, so, could you, tell me about what happened on the night of the crime? I honestly thought you'd know that already. Well, I mean, I do. I just want to hear your side of the story, obviously. Well, don't know what I can tell you that you haven't already heard. It's pretty standard as far as murders go, if you ask me. My daughter would have probably called it lame, for instance. Well, Sorry, what? What's the matter? What was that daughter part? I said my daughter would have called this entire murder scenario lame. Lame means uninteresting. I know what lame means. I just didn't know that Phoenix Wright had a daughter. Why didn't anyone mention this? If you play your cards right, you might even get to meet her. Be warned, though, she's weapons-grade adorable. True. I'm sure, that's very helpful. But besides the point. He's probably just messing with me, isn't he? Right. What actually happened? Well, here's the short version, I guess. There once was a man called Red White. He's dead now. The end. That's it, thanks for watching. Yes, thank you. Red White is... Surely you've heard. I have. And there's no need to talk about it. The night of the murder, I came to visit him at his cell. It was around 10. Remember, because that's when I'd scheduled for us to meet. He was the one that scheduled the meeting. Oh, I'm sure you have your own ideas about the nature of our meeting, but you don't want to talk about it. You catch on fast for a rookie. Never said I was a rookie. No, but you are. I can practically smell the nervous on you. Anyway, once I got to his cell, I found him dead. He was already dead when he got to his cell. I believe that's what I said, yes. And that's how it was. The police just can't seem to believe my story. Yeah, I wonder why. Not even when I told them I saw the killer's face. I mean, they were right there, standing over the body. Right. The newspapers covered that part, too. And there you go. You know who the killer is. Maya Fey. Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty shocked. Probably shocked me even more, though. Was that she knocked me out the minute she realized I was there. To think, that's what I get for the 3 years of solid burger insurance. Right, Maya Fey, your assistant. Ex-assistant. Are you, absolutely sure about that, Mr. Wright? I mean, it's just that's kind of the part that doesn't seem to add up. What doesn't add up? I don't know how to tell you this, but the papers are calling your story a bit silly. How so? I meant because, according to them, there was only one way into that cell. Through the security guard at the entrance. And the guard saw nobody resembling Miss Fey. Well, have you spoken to her about it? Well, no, but you really should ask her about it before going off and calling me nuts, you know? I'm not calling you nuts. I just think that you may have somehow misinterpreted what you saw. You're awful quick to make that kind of assumption. I just personally don't think that it's possible for her to have been there. Heck, from what I've been hearing, it's not possible for anyone else to have been there. So you not only think I'm crazy, but you think I'm guilty. Nice. I think you're just hearing what you want to hear, Mr. Wright. One minute you're convinced of my innocence, but you're doubting my word the very next. Which will it be, Miss Jude Wright? I shouldn't have gotten myself involved in this mess, should I? Let's put that aside. Okay, let's back up a bit. When you entered Mr. White's cell, what exactly did you see? Besides his corpse and Miss Fey, I mean. Not much, unfortunately. It was quite dark. I never actually knew the prison was such a dark place. Oh, okay. You mentioned you were knocked out. Do you know with what? Nope. Did you notice anything else suspicious, possibly before entering the cell? That's gonna be a no. What about the guard? You apparently had to pass through him to get to the cell. Anything weird about him, maybe? Seemed like a nice enough guy, I think. Best client ever. Oh. Okay, let's back up a bit. This is... Oh wait, hold on. Was that new? That was the same talk. That was the same topic. Same label. Let's back up a bit. You know what you're knocked out with? No. Did you notice anything else suspicious, possibly before entering the cell? That's gonna be a no. What about the guard? You apparently had to pass through him to get to the cell. Anything weird about him, maybe? Seemed like a nice enough guy, I think. Best client ever. Back a bit. You're Mr. White's cell. What exactly did you see? Quite dark. Okay. Okay, I think what we have to do is show profiles. We have these two now. Wright's former assistant, the person he claims to have seen at the scene of the crime before he was promptly knocked out by her. Her involvement doesn't seem very likely given the facts. And... victim? Convicted murderer of Mia Fey. Going to be executed 2 years from now. Alright. I seem to remember mentioning that I have no desire to discuss my past with him. You at least have to tell me why you two met. I refuse. But I'm your attorney. Shouldn't I at least have some idea? How do you expect me to help you if you give me absolutely no information? I used to work with Les, you know. You're hiding information that could help save your life. Or implicate me. Look, it's been 4 years since her death. Why, after those 4 years, did you come to meet him? I think I deserve to know at least that much. No, you don't. It's frustrating, isn't it? Having the answers to so many of your questions just a few feet away. Only to have human nature get in your way. Sucks, doesn't it? Took me 5 minutes to hire you. Only take a second for you to walk away now. Not changing my mind. Yet. And Maya? You tell me about her. Maya Fey, I mean. She was... well, I guess it doesn't matter. She's a murderer now, as far as I'm concerned. According to you. And I assure you, I'm not mistaken. In retrospect, I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't know over half the facts of the case at the time. Chances are, if I had, the conversation would have gone pretty differently. Me and I dragged myself into the whole thing because of why exactly? Not quite sure why. Oh, great. Still, not much I can do about it now. I was an idiot making an idiot's choice. Look at me now. Right back where I started. About to lose. I think I actually might have made the entire situation even worse. I should have just stayed home and not played the game. But of course not. Not me. You, Phoenix. I hate you in this entire case. Wow. Alright then. This isn't good, is it? And that's putting aside that it'll start any minute now. And they still haven't brought him, I mean. How exactly am I supposed to do this? Maya Fey killed White and then escaped due to her magical medium powers. Dumb? Whatever do you mean, Your Honor? No, Mr. Prosecutor, I'm not on any kind of medication. Why do you ask? Evidence to support this? I don't know what you mean. Isn't it perfectly logical? Why would he make up a story like that, anyway? What does he get out of something like that? The prosecutor will shoot my case apart in 2 minutes. But wait, I don't have a case! Be like I'm not even there. Oh. Ah! Well, you're not nervous or anything. I don't know what to expect given how little you've told me. I think you keep putting all the blame on me, yet you're the one who wanted to take the case. Well, that's hypocritical and unprofessional? Yes, it is. Ow. Not really sure how you expect to make it through the trial with that kind of attitude. Especially given the fact that Edgeworth's the one prosecuting. Mr. Edgeworth? But that's... Hey, I did warn you. You reap what you sow, darling. Please don't call me that. But why, darling? Oh, God. The trial's about to start. Let's just go in, shall we? Sure thing, darling. Remember, I'll be watching. Please take this a little more seriously. Oh, but I am. Since you happen to be so confident of my innocence, I see no reason to act scared. That's not what I mean. Take this a little more seriously. This? You mean, like, our relationship, or, never mind. Let's just go. No, seriously, what did you mean? I said never mind. Should have just stayed at home. Yeah, I don't blame you for hating his guts. Feels very purposeful, Orders now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright. Seems like he's playing a very purposeful game here of, I'm probably gonna lose anyway, so let's troll the shit out of some rookie who wants to take my case for some reason. The defense and prosecution ready. As ready as they'll ever be, Your Honor. Your Honor. Oh, a fresh face. I don't believe I've seen you around here before. What is your name, Missy? June Rye, Your Honor. A new defense attorney. Well, you've certainly gotten yourself into quite a first case. Well then, I shall tell you what I tell all the new faces. Do not tolerate monkey business in my courtroom. Ah, right. Noted. No monkey business. Well then, I suppose that rules out my swinging on the ceiling defense. I don't recall you ever saying anything like that to me. Then perhaps your memory fails you, Mr. Wright. Possibly. I don't believe that's the case, Your Honor. For all my shortcomings, memory is one thing that never fails me. Mr. Wright, the trial has not even begun, and already you seem to wish to bicker with me. I did no such thing. I assure you, that is certainly what you are doing. Please, do not speak unless you are spoken to. It's already on the judge's bad side. Not good. Now then, is the prosecution ready? Eh? Prosecution. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. That's Mr. Edgeworth, no doubt about it, but... looks so exhausted. Are you sure, Mr. Edgeworth? Is there any reason to suspect I'm not? Well, if you don't mind me saying, you look as if you hadn't slept for a week. Not a bad guess, Your Honor, though I'd peg it closer to 4 days. Jesus! The prosecution's office is extremely busy at this time of the year, so it really can't be helped. Mr. Edgeworth, this is unacceptable. Surely you could have another prosecutor stand in, or... Objection! With all due respect, I am perfectly fine, Your Honor. Instead of worrying about my health, we should simply focus on the trial. Fret not. I wouldn't stand here before the court if I wasn't in prime prosecuting condition. All these long hours are going to put you in glasses well before your time, Mr. Edgeworth. Ironic. Still, I can't argue with the prosecutor's office. You may choose to continue to prosecute. It's not a matter of choice. It's a matter of duty and honor. If you wish to worry for anyone's well-being, Your Honor, it should be Mr. Wright's. Yeah, hello to you too. You do realize that this case you've gotten yourself tangled up in is open and shut, right? You say that like I'm too ignorant to put it together myself. Just like you, for some reason. Seem to think that I'm actually guilty. I trust the evidence, right? My own opinion of you is relevant. Funny you should mention evidence in my presence. Right, the longer you keep living in the past. If you have your way, I won't live much longer at all. Besides, I have moved on. Becoming a petty gambler? Wait, isn't gambling... Sorry, a what? Figure of speech, Your Honor. Yes, of course. I see you've been keeping notes. Then shall we have a little wager? Still a figure of speech, Your Honor. Let's see, I bet that you made a terrible mistake. Cute. Oh my god, can we just... Enough! I'll have no gambling in my courtroom. Miss Wright, please control your client or be held in contempt. Was it my fault? Mr. Edgeworth, please give us your opening statement. Actually, Your Honor. The board has pointed out, the prosecutor's office would like to apologize for such a delay in these proceedings. As you are without a doubt aware, the crime in question took place 3 nights ago. I had mentioned earlier that the nature of our work had grown rather complicated recently. Police had officially closed their investigation on the night of the murder, but the matter of finding a prosecutor was rather problematic. I myself got the chance to familiarize myself with the case only last night, in fact. While a bit unusual, I assure you that there's no need to apologize, Mr. Edgeworth. You may begin. Very well, Your Honor. As I have just stated, the crime in question occurred 3 nights ago. The walls of the state prison. Defendant Mr. Wright had scheduled a meeting in the cell with the victim, Mr. Red White. The prosecution asserts that it was during this meeting that Mr. Wright strangled Mr. White. We intend to prove that this through evidence found at the scene and evidence showing that this crime was only possible for Mr. Wright to commit. And that's despite this nonsense he may wish you to believe. I know what I saw, Edgeworth. That is, I know what you didn't see. However, that should be discussed once you are inevitably brought to the stand to speak for yourself. Until then, the prosecution would like to summon the detective in charge of the case to present all of the aforementioned evidence to the courtroom. Very good, you may summon them. I assume nothing on the contrary, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Detective Barker Mortimer to the stand. What? Oh no. It's usually the fuzz. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh, baby, that's just not groovy. Gotta give me some time. Let me make this a real man's introduction. You need time to say your own name? This is a courtroom, not a circus, detective. Oh no. The name is Tortimer. Barker Tortimer. And I'm a true American hero. Oh my god, what? A dashing detective, a king of justice. A lone cowboy riding into the sunset after justice is served. Dashing prince of this side of our great nation. Winner of this year's annual hair contest. As you can tell, all the ladies and men want me and all the men want to be me. So remember the name, evildoers, the Barker boys on your tail. Okay? Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not sure why you found the need to shout necessary, detective. I assure you, you already had the court's attention. Lame, bro, you totally ignored my introduction. Your uncoolness cut straight to my heart. What on earth gave you that idea? My hearing is perfectly fine, mind you. Worry not, your introduction was perfectly fine. You certainly said your name and occupation well. However, this court's interest, I'm afraid, lies in your testimony, Mr. Mortimer. Hey now. No need to ask. Boxter's got you covered. Are you Mortimer or Tortimer? Because your profile says Tortimer, and you said Tortimer, and Edgeworth said Mortimer. Rather enthusiastic about America. I couldn't tell from this theme song. Fair warning, though, this is going to be the ginchiest testimony you ever heard. What? Ginchiest? Hold on to your wives, gentlemen. Because Detective Barker's testimony is going to rock your socks. Oh, thank God. It's a ginchiest. Ginchi is slang for sexy. Old Barker's never barked up the wrong tree in his life, and that morning a storm was brewing. Chief called him in. Barker, there's a case I need you to handle. I need you to get back in the game. Perp was a small-time crook called Phoenix Wright. He was found snoozing at the scene. Strangled a dude and bashed him in the head. He was one sick, twisted puppy. With the power of America and justice on our side, we threw the nut in the slammer. America. Oh, God. Well, it was certainly a unique testimony. Still, it got the job done. It didn't do anything. But edgy baby, cutting theatrics would be like cutting my precious locks. Just not cool, daddy-o. Gotta keep my fresh vibes on the 411, you dig. Objection! Objection, I hate you. That's the last straw, I gotta ask. Your Honor, defense requests an interpreter for the detective. As I don't speak whatever language he's speaking. What's it, a bird on the bark dog? Uncool, lady bro. My lingo is totally groovy, baby. The court sides with the defense. Mr. Edgeworth, since you called the detective, I expect you to serve as their translator. Your Honor, I'm not sure what's there not to understand. Do I either translate or I have the detective's nonsense stricken from the record. If you don't understand it, what makes you think I do? Well, I don't see how you have a case if you don't understand him either. Are you being serious right now? You're just pulling a few screws in old Pinky Bro here, right? Deadly serious, Mr. Edgeworth. I mean, the problem is I can't understand it. My problem is not understanding him. It's didn't fucking say anything. Very well, Your Honor. I will translate to the best of my ability. I see how it is. Alright, that's how you roll. That's how you roll, I guess. I'm going to get this show on the road, because I'm mucho down for that. Let's begin the cross-examination. Oh boy. Mr. Edgeworth, is the detective speaking in third person about himself? He is indeed. I see. And why is that, Mr. Edgeworth? How does it relate to the case? What secrets does it hold? I cannot say. And why is that, Mr. Edgeworth? Why is it that you cannot explain this clearly crucial fact that the detective speaks in third person? you suggesting that you cannot explain the facts of your own case? Don't worry, Pinkie Pie, I got you covered. Rather you didn't. I was talking to the Missy. My response is the same. Rather you didn't cover the defense in anything, Detective.
Hold it!
Oh. When the detective speaking in the third person are irrelevant, Your Honor. I'd like to ask the defense not to distract from the issue at hand. The only distracting thing here is your witness. In English, please. Missy, you say that I don't have the great language of America down. It's getting downright insulting. America isn't the only country that speaks English, you know. Oh, you're good, huh? You're right. Your lingo isn't even consistent. You say something, Mr. Prosecutor? Look, the gist of what the detective said is this. I was given the case by the Chief of Police after a long hiatus. Does that explanation satisfy you, Miss Wright? Yeah. I'm seriously spacing out so bad I can't remember what hiatus means. Focus. It's not the time to get distracted. Got it, brain? This probably isn't how I imagined things would go, but that's usually how things are. Come on, you're a lawyer, you're a lawyer, you're a lawyer! You seem distressed, Miss Wright. You seem tired, but you don't see me bringing it up. Ooh, snap, got a frisky one here, it seems. Sorry. Proceed, sir. Just realized I never even remembered his name. Am I sucking this bad? Okay, might actually get something from this. Alright, I think this is where he starts talking about the actual crime. Say you found him snoozing. May not be the wisest choice of words. When Mr. Wright was found on the scene, he was, in fact, fully conscious. He was, however, lying on the ground, giving the impression that he was not. Why would he do that? To corroborate his ludicrous explanation of the events, I imagine. I don't think she'll buy it, Captain. So let me chip in here. This is the sit-rep on Nicky's condition. I haven't read it, but from what I've been told, he hasn't gotten a scratch on that pretty body of his. When I say that, I just mean he's got a good body, nothing else, got it? I'm a God-fearing American. So this report is... The defendant's medical report, done almost immediately upon his arrest. There are no external injuries on his body, and there were no toxins found in his system. I'd like to yet again stress that he was also found conscious at the scene. As such, any possible claim that he was knocked unconscious or attacked by someone else is beyond preposterous. The board shall accept this report into evidence. As to what Mr. Wright had done before he was found in the state he was found in, well... I demand elaboration. Ask and you shall receive. Let's go point by point, shall we? The prosecution would first like to present Mr. White's autopsy report. As you can see, the detective's statement stands true. He was indeed asphyxiated. You may ask with what? To which there is a simple answer. Nick's very own belt. We found it tightly wrapped around the poor sap's neck. Fingerprints confirmed it belonged to him, and he even admitted as much himself. What? Nobody said anything about that. Ooh, but it gets better. As the report might suggest, Mr. White suffered head trauma post-mortem. This is due to the fact that your client hit it against the cell's steel bed. Why on earth would he have done that, if White was already dead? That is where it gets a bit grotesque, I'm afraid. Mr. Wright took some of Mr. White's blood and smeared it against the back of his own head. What? That's monstrous. Why would he do such a thing? I believe it was done to give the impression that he had suffered an injury of some kind. Why would he do that? Make it appear as if someone else had been on the scene, obviously. But that's stupid. Why didn't he just hit himself with something? The idea came from the same rational mind that decided to kill a man in a highly secured prison. You may not wish to believe me. The evidence is there. Blood was found literally on his hands. And that's not enough for you. Here. It's a pic of the crime scene. Look at myself. That. I kinda got in the shop, but you should consider that a plus. Body's gone, but we already told you what was up with him. And aside from the fact that he's dead, all of this seems to be pretty damning evidence. Yeah, I know, right? Isn't getting any better. Half of this stuff the papers don't even cover. This just went from bad to horrible. Damning evidence added to the court record. I did not think this through. At all. Too late to run now, though. Alright then. This is essentially the prosecution's entire case. According to them, he scheduled a meeting with White in his cell and killed him. Specifically with his belt, which was found around White's neck. After which, he hit White's head against the bed, put White's blood on the back of his own head. It was apparently done to appear as if he was knocked out. After this, he lied down and pretended to be unconscious. Which in actuality, according to this report at least, he wasn't. Pretty much proving that what he told me is a complete lie. How am I supposed to defend him if he's clearly lying to me? What I still don't understand is why he's lying to begin with. Nothing he's done or said so far is making any sense. I'm really starting to think that I could add murder to the list of those things. I can't. I won't. Well, from what I've managed to understand, this testimony alone seems pretty decisive. I'd say that like he doubted me. Like he doubted it. If he did, he has to again. Soon. You seem eager to add something, Miss Fry. I do. Detective, you said a lot of stuff. Thing is, we had to go by your story. And my client is completely insane. Your point? No, I mean, his actions are completely illogical. First off, you say that he wanted to make it look like he was knocked out. That someone else had done the crime. Given the circumstances, nobody would have assumed that. I mean, think about it. His belt was still found around the victim's neck. And sure, while he might have appeared to have been hurt, the ruse would have been discovered in... well, 2 seconds. Which it was, according to you. Doesn't add up. No rational mind would have done something like that.
Hold it!
It sounds to me like you're making an insanity plea. No, I'm making a plea for common sense. My client is not insane. Nothing I've seen, or anyone else, for that matter, suggests that. And yet, according to you, he did things which are completely illogical. If he was really guilty, how come he didn't just take his belt and leave? At least then his chances of being caught red-handed would have been lower. Probably not by a whole lot, but still. It would have been more reasonable than to do what you claim he did.
Objection!
And yet that is precisely what he did.
Objection!
Says you. There are other, far more sensible explanations here. Such as... wasn't it obvious? Oh my god. You gotta be joking. Well, let's pick the joke option. Why'd you just click that answer? Not good enough. some kind of joke? Do you not want to win? Don't you get that this is a super serious game with lawyers and death and anime hair? Honestly, what did you expect would happen? Some sort of Easter egg? A funny little joke? Do you think that this was made by crazy people who put complex coding in for no reason? What a hogwash. The joke answer wasn't even funny. And jokes and absurd nonsense aren't funny. Why not did you think you'd be rewarded for this utter buffoonery? In fact, I'd say you deserve to be thoroughly punished for your tomfoolery instead. Read after me. Joke answers aren't funny. I'll never click on them again. No. Wrong! Do it again. From the start. No. This is your fault. Shut up. Well then, suppose that will satisfy me for now. Very well then, go on with your game. Just don't do that again. Okay, well, we're just gonna load out of that. And not do that again. Hey, for the record, I picked that answer begrudgingly. Because you put it in there. I didn't expect to be berated for it. Fucking rude. Somebody else could have been there. I mean, it doesn't just say otherwise. Actually, it would explain a lot. Accurate, but still rude. Actually, it would explain a lot. After all, my client did say he saw someone at the scene. The defense argues that there was a third party present at the scene.
Hold it!
Ridiculous. That's putting aside the obvious convenience. After all, didn't your client also claim that he was knocked out by this assailant? Claim which, need I remind you, was just proven to be a lie beyond any doubt. That's not a fair argument. The claim's validity has no bearing on the validity of the current claim. That sounded like one of these fancy TV lawyers there for a second there. I think. In any case, unless you have evidence disproving that there was a third party at the scene, the court should at least consider the possibility. Is that so? Well, in that case, I suppose I'll just have to provide exactly that. The prosecution has evidence disproving the existence of a third party. Evidence. That's a funny way to call them. Detective, for the last time, it is an inanimate object. It's that kind of spiel that'll get them to revolt one day, you know. Sorry, I don't know what you're referring to. What's the evidence? It seems to me like you don't know quite a lot about this case for someone in your position. Rookie or not, I really don't see an excuse for that. Give me a break. Nobody's perfect. In any case, it's quite simple. No, it ain't. Detective, I'd appreciate it if you kept your opinions to yourself. I'm just calling it like it is, as a true American should. Plus, isn't that kind of what I'm here for? You are here to state the facts. Right? And fact is, that thingamajig out there is absolutely nuts. Taking jobs from hard-working American. Oh, God. Okay, seriously, what are you talking about? Does anything you just said have anything to do with a piece of evidence? As I said, it's quite simple. As I said, no, it ain't. We just get to it. We just make up your mind. Thank you, Detective. That will be quite enough from you. It is simple, when shown. And for that to be possible, the prosecution shall call its next witness. The guard Mr. Wright had to pass by in order to get to the victim's cell. I don't understand. Why can't you just show it? What's all this fuss about? The evidence can only be presented once the guard is on the stand. Okay. This isn't going to be simple at all, is it? Been warned, baby. It shall all come clear once the witness is on the stand, I assure you. And so with that, the prosecution calls... I apologize. I think my sight is failing me. Either that, or I've forgotten to take my medication. Chances are that neither is the case, Your Honor. No way. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Alright, what's happening? No way. What the fuck are you? What are you? What are you? My name is Intelligence, Surveillance, and Assistance Computer. Please call me Isaac. My duty is to serve, and my serving is to guard. My guarding is to protect. Duty serve, guard protect, duty serve, duty protect. Yeah. QED, my goal is to protect. This is the witness? Please. No need to shout. But yes, this machine will prove the defendant's guilt beyond the shadow of a doubt. Affirmative. I shall integrate the lines of code pertaining to X's guilt past the calculated outcome. Alt. Defendant's posterior is pasplanum notatum. Colloquial. Ass is grass. Is this thing even fit to testify on the stand? Highly affirmative. I am pre-programmed with all data pertaining to the situation. 1. A witness may not harm the judge. 2. A witness must obey the judge's orders. 3. A witness must protect themselves unless doing so would conflict the law with their testimony. Okay, that's kind of clever. The interpretation, the laws of testimony robotics, I guess. And then there's the sacred zeroth law. Oh, I think I know this one. Witness may not harm the court, or by inaction allow the court to come to harm. Yep, there it is. That is incorrect. Witness may not bribe the judges, or be used to bribe the judges. It's a funny rule. I mean, I doubt that any self-respecting judge would take a bribe. Anyone would be so blatant in their judge bribery. Am I the only one who finds this entire situation ridiculous? That's simply because you weren't properly informed or prepared for this to occur. I assure you, this entire situation follows perfectly logically from my point of view. Just think of the witness as any other witness, and it'll be over soon enough. I'll try my best. I mean, no matter what you might say, there's still the parrot. No matter. Witness, please give us your testimony. Request noted. Preparing to dispense item. Fatal testimony. Are you part vending machine? God, you're horrifying. Put you in a fucking dark put you in a fucking dark-holed prison. You have your own Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. A suspect, Phoenix Wright, arrived on the night of the murder. Fact. Suspect signed himself into the visitor's log. Fact. Evidence, Phoenix Wright, was the only visitor who had come to see the victim in a long time. Fact. Afterwards, I was scheduled to patrol the prison. I found the suspect just out of sight. Fact. Even if no security camera exists overlooking cell, all must pass me. My eyes do more than see. Fact. Possibility of anything entering without getting past me, 12999. Impossible equals high. Fact. Fact times 6. Percentage, 100%. Testimony, fact. Logic is logic. I am truth. I am fact. I don't like you. Robot definitely has a few screws loose. This is a weird mixture of serious and humor, which I don't know if I like. Would we actually trust this kind of testimony? If his wiring just got screwed up or something?
Objection!
Witness was examined on several occasions. All of them established that they are in perfect condition. Essentially, Isaac saw nobody but Mr. Wright pass by him on the night of the murder. Affirmative. Couldn't someone have snuck past you when you weren't paying attention? Negative. Isaac always pays attention. Attention is paid by Isaac at all times for the purposes of the visitors list. Okay, jeez. Prosecutor would like to present the visitors list in question. Contains the name of every person that entered the victim's entire cell block. And it's the one Mr. Wright signed into himself. As you will see, there's no doubt about it. Wright was the only visitor that night. Yeah, literally. Only one who signed in was Phoenix Wright. I feel like saying not good would be an understatement at this point. Also, I'm finding it a bit questionable how you are able to perfectly understand this witness. Yet you treated the detective as if he was speaking Chinese. Mean he wasn't? I'm now beyond convinced you are pulling my leg. Let's get on with it. And please, Miss Wright, do not test my patience. This is a robot. Accept or don't. This is his testimony. Right. Right. Stay at home. I don't want to deal with this right now. We'll deal with this next time. You know what this thing reminds me of? You know what this thing is? It's Pongo and Clonko from Dual Destinies, crossed with Mike Meekins. It's the robot mannerisms. I don't know. He's got that Mike Meekins air of annoying to him. Like Pongo and Clonko, they were charming, cute, and interesting. This thing just bugs me. And you're sure it was Phoenix Wright?
Objection!
And, pray tell, who else could it have possibly been? Isaac here is equipped with only the highest grade facial recognition software. Well, there was that case in the past where the defendant was impersonated by that orange guy. Maybe the killer had a mask of the defendant that looked exactly like his face. Maybe it was just a pigeon and our robot's sensors are glitching out. Error, protocol U50D4, all systems are running fine. Offense has been taken. Really, Miss Wright, even as a joke, those were completely ridiculous. You can't just throw out nonsense involving filthy, disease-covered birds, really now. Addition, the current safety protocols, all intruding birds are shot on sight. I feel like we're getting off track here. Okay. I mean, he personally put his signature onto the list. Miss Wright, I can hardly see a different interpretation for what the witness said. This list was in your possession the entire time. Affirmative. The suspect was the only one who had signed on day 534 equals murder day. This also proves that. And you're sure of this?
Objection!
Witness is a robot, of course they're sure. I was just, checking their memory. Again? Witness is a robot, they have no memory. Yeah, they kinda do. Incorrect, I have a perfectly functioning memory. See, what did I tell you? You really shouldn't underestimate the robot kind, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I'll now proceed to check my memory. Searching RAM. Hilarious. Scan complete. I have checked my RAM in the data store. Would you like a report? RAM? Data? I more meant checking whether you had remembered. Well, yeah, that's... Alright, 50% video files, 5% audio files, 2% game files, 43% free space. Game files? Correct. Every Isaac is equipped with a copy of Pong. Great. Suppose even robots need something to tide themselves over during the quiet nights. However, current discussion equals irrelevant. In addition to only signing in Var Phoenix Wright upon his arrival. He was also the only person that had scheduled to meet with the victim in quite some time. In other words, there was nothing suggesting that anyone had even an interest in visiting White. That is correct. It just keeps getting better and better. When did the defendant schedule the meeting? A few days before the murder itself. Naturally, the victim was notified of this as well. Well, that's a given, isn't it? Please continue, witness. Alright. What exactly do you mean by just out of sight? I was patrolling the hallways. The defendant was inside a cell with the victim. Ergo, I had to go around a wall and enter a cell to find them. So basically, just out of sight means exactly what it says. X equals X, true. This is logically proven and thus is so. Sometimes things are exactly what they sound like. Well, what do you know? Is that so? Well then, what else do they do? My eye also serves to contain my brain. Anything else? It also indicates my artificially created moods. Well, that much was obvious. Really, that's it. That had nothing to do with anything. Well, 1 to 999 is 999 is still more plausible than winning the lottery. How could you call that impossible? Allow me to rephrase. 1 to 999 is the chance of someone creating or finding another method of entry over a time period of 1,000,000 years. That's great. Oh, carry on then. Isn't that a little unfair to me, the defendant? I mean, I'm trying my best over here. Then you jump right into here with your logic and complex coding and wires and stuff. You make a mockery of my defending. To err is human. To logic is machine. Machines do not err. Error is human. Maybe humans aren't perfect at logic, but you know what? We do our best. Even if we aren't always super logical, we humans do a lot of good. But even aliens like it approve of a bunch of stuff humans do that isn't super logical. Robot will never trigger sadness receptors for no purpose. Human will do action. There's no such thing as an action without purpose. Everything we do is important in some way. Counterpoint. The existence of a human with zero purpose to exist. Proof equals Adam Sandler. Hilarious. Alright, you win that round. For now. I was never good at math. I'm pretty sure this robot doesn't check out. Which is ironic considering since I'm pretty sure its mother was a calculator. Besides, if there are only 6 facts, does that make the statement saying there are all facts a lie? And if the last statement was a fact, also then... Oh, come on. So all that thing about maths and numbers gives me an idea. Alright, RoboCop, I've got you in logic error now. What's left is for me to point out your mistake. (9:15, 9:35 p.m.) Really? The person that signed in was Phoenix Wright. I do wonder.
Objection!
False. Your Honor, I have evidence to prove that proves the witness is lying. Oh, really? Let's see it then. But that's just it, Your Honor. I'm not going to. What? Why? It's as long as you haven't observed my evidence. It both exists and doesn't. Incorrect. Data shows that Schrodinger's cat is not a legal defense. Schrodinger's cat, not equal law. My logic is still 100%. Proceeding to upload file. Your penalty.exe to judge.net. Loading. 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 Well received. I should have known science was all numbers and nothing actually useful. Oh god, okay. So. Anything entering without getting past you. Let's look at this. That photo. See that on the wall? Does that look like a window to you?
Objection!
You know, I've faced a lot of problems in my life. A lot of them I sometimes saw as inescapable because the odds seemed so stacked against me. But you know what? In the end, I escaped all of them. Eventually, I learned that the odds don't really matter. What matters is the will to keep pushing on no matter what. So, to be perfectly honest with you, witness, your odds, in the end, won't stop me from getting to the bottom of this, either. Because it turns out you're quite wrong. There wasn't a way into that cell.
Objection!
No, there was not.
Objection!
Yes, there was. And the crime scene itself proves it. Is that so? Well then, do tell. When this photo reveals an alternate method of entry.
Take that!
It's right there, isn't it? There's a window in the cell.
Objection!
A barred window. I'm sorry, but I think you're forgetting that the crime scene is a prison cell. The window cannot be a valid exit, and therefore not a valid entrance.
Objection!
Are you sure about that, Mr. Edgeworth? Personally, there's something about this window that makes me question that. Question what, exactly? The fact that it was impossible to not somehow get past it and enter the cell. What leads me to the question that fact is... Bars on the window. Take a look at the bars. The window of a highly secured and impenetrable prison cell. It sure doesn't look like it. Look at it, the bars are practically bent in some places. You can't assume it was impossible for absolutely anybody to get in. In fact, I'm gonna argue that that's exactly what happened. The killer bent the bars and simply entered the cell.
Objection!
Cute. Almost like something out of a movie. What a shame that it's absolutely impossible. And why is that? Because it helps my case? Too high. Sorry? The window. It's too high for anyone to actually climb through it and enter. The cell itself is situated on the third of the prison's 5 floors. For one, it's impossible to actually scale the wall. All walls of the prison are kept under constant watch by both guards and cameras. Nobody could have gotten in. Even if there was a way to do. Moving the bars is not as easy as it might seem. But they're bent. still doesn't change the fact that it would have been quite a task to do something of the sort. Not to mention, the window itself is actually too small for anyone to fit through it. That was made 99.25% sure during the prison's initial designing. This was naturally overseen by our founder, Gail Warden, with the help of an esteemed architect. Initial designing faced issues with holes, but they were patched up and the prison pulled through. Would you like to hear more of the prison's rich history? No. I want to know why these bars are bent. The infrastructural damage in question was caused by the victim, var equals var red white. When? And why? A couple of days before the murder. I have personally inspected the bars and assured that there are no real threat. Reasons for action currently remain unknown. That's weird. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he was trying to escape. After years of being in jail? Right before his murder? That's a bit sketchy for sure. Something's on your mind yet again. No, it's nothing. Well, okay. How did the victim act in the days leading up to the murder? What we managed to gather by talking to the warden and some of the other guards. Status equals agitated. Agitated? Interesting. This is the beginning of yet another one of your arguments. There's only so much the court can take in such a short span of time, you know. What's that supposed to mean? No, not for the moment, at least. It does sound a bit strange. Cross-examination complete. Hey now, that's my line. No additional points of interest found. No valid reason to proceed questioning. Cogito ergo sum. Thought process like that, I should start to fear for my job. And on any other day, I would argue against it, but... Mr. Edgeworth, don't talk like that. You'll get me to start panicking as well. I mean, it's your job in jeopardy, Judge, if burden of proof is anything to go by. Seriously? I thought he and Mr. Wright were close friends. They are, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Edgeworth falling asleep every couple of minutes does not suggest that. I can see that the poor fellow is exhausted, but... I would imagine that he would focus strongly enough to push through. It's only a thing in movies, Your Honor. Then again, he could just be treating Mr. Wright with the same respect he treated the court. Yet, Your Honor, please, that has nothing to do with...
Objection!
My physical state. It has nothing to do with how I see Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, I must warn you that I can have you removed for... The last time, I am fine, Your Honor. I can testify to that, Your Honor. Thank you, Miss Oldbag. Your contribution is immense, as always. Oh, fuck. Alright. See ya. Now then, do you have any more questions for the witness, Miss Rye? Too late. Robot left during your power nap. When did you get here? Well, it all started when Mama Phoenix and Daddy Phoenix got in the bed, and, you know what she means, right? You had no right coming onto the stand without being summoned. Sorry. Guess I got a little ahead of myself. You wish it do-over? Mr. Wright, you are walking on thin ice as it is. I apologize, Your Honor. Must be the stress. You don't seem very stressed for a man about to spend the rest of his days in prison. There you go again. Pretend as much as you want, but we both know I'm innocent. We also know that's irrelevant. Aha! So you admit it. Done playing games, right? Sorry, but you don't get to decide that. Miss Fry, control your client.
Hold it!
Miss Fry is not responsible for my behavior, Your Honor. But, very well. I will behave for now. You will behave for the rest of the trial. Be surrounded by people you once called friends. Now treating you like you're plain old dirt. Imagine you want my testimony. You have a right to plead silence, but... Right. I'll testify, why not? You already know what I'm going to say, anyway. And that's exactly what I'm afraid of. That is assuming my lawyer has no objections. On the other hand, I don't have too much of a choice. If he doesn't testify, this trial is over anyway. Maybe I can at least drag some of the truth out of him. None. Interesting. Very well. Then I shall begin. Forgot to ask for your name and occupation. Phoenix Wright. Currently unemployed. Started to take up some piano lessons, if that counts. Him? On a piano? I really can't picture that. Anyway. Way things are. Arrived at the cell. That much I obviously can't disprove. However, when I got there, White was already dead. In the cell was my former assistant, Maya Fey, standing over his strangled body. It was then that she noticed me. If I could do anything, she knocked me out. Woke up only to find out that I was being arrested for something I didn't do. Simple enough. You're looking at me with the strangest gaze, Your Honor. I think it's because even he realizes how absolutely insane your story is. It's the truth. Saying that over and over again won't make it true, right? Miss Rye. Yes? In the name of all that is decent, I order you to shred this testimony to pieces. Last time I checked, she was working against you. Being against me does not mean that she gets to turn a blind eye from the facts. Miss Rye. Your cross-examination, if you will. Alright, let's do this.
Hold it!
So you're admitting to that much. Well, I wouldn't. But I can't exactly claim teleportation. Not even you are that irrational. Are you implying I'm generally irrational? Yes. I won't argue with the results of such behavior, but no sane man would walk in your footsteps. I'll take that as a compliment. All the while, the rest of us take it as the truth. I guess I'm one of those cops that doesn't go by the books, but you can't argue with the results. In the movies, sure. In the real world, they get fired. And for a reason, too. One day I imagine I'll write a book about these exchanges of ours. You wouldn't have the patience. I'll call it The Undying Support and Optimism of Miles Edgeworth. Is that sarcasm? It is sarcasm. Good. What? Well, I'm not necessarily disproving this. For now. You do have to admit it's a bit of a classic tale. Hey, not my fault that life's weird like that. But the fact that your imagination is clearly lacking to come up with something better is your fault. If you have evidence to disprove my point, then by all means, present it. I don't think you have, though. We shall see about that. Indeed we shall. But you don't have it. Bear the belt. Maya Fey. Maya Gutenberger Fey, really? Scout's honor.
Objection!
You were never in the Scouts. Putting that aside, it seems a bit random, don't you think? How so? What would your assistant be doing there? She had every reason to be there. After all, Red White had murdered her sister in cold blood. How many years ago now? He was clearly after revenge. Honestly, Wright, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here. Even you must see that this is going too far. The girl has nothing to do with this. End this farce. Make me. Have it your way, then. Miss Wright, expose his nonsense, now. Or don't. It's a free country, you know. Ahem. But anyway.
Hold it!
How would you describe Miss Faye? Maya? What's there to say? She was still the same as she had always been. Just not as I'd like to remember her. Yeah, just about the same as she always was. Miss Wright, if you don't have any more additional questions, I suggest we move on.
Hold it!
What did she knock you out with? How should I remember? You were there, weren't you? Spirit, I guess you could say? I mean, I wasn't really paying that much attention to what she was holding so much as, everything else. Of course, of course. I think I can practically hear Mr. Edgeworth's inner screams to do something here.
Hold it!
You were arrested because you were found on the scene with all the evidence suggesting that you were the one responsible for murdering a human being in cold blood. Easy now, Mr. Edgeworth. Apologies, Your Honor. I can practically cut the tension here. Or is it annoyance? How am I supposed to cross-examine a story like this? I mean, it's insane. It's completely full of holes. Well, in that case, the only thing I can do is point some of them out. Start with the obvious one.
Objection!
That's a lie. That's a little cold, don't you think? The truth often is, right? Sorry, but nobody could have attacked you that night. Your own medical report proves as much.
Hold it!
I'm aware of that report. Tell me, why isn't it possible that there was simply no wound left? Stranger things have happened, after all.
Objection!
That was just sad, even for you, right? For you to have been hit so hard that you fell unconscious. You must have suffered injury of some kind.
Hold it!
Not necessarily. The side of the body, plus the side of my former assistant, might have been responsible as well. You really can't know all the factors that went into it.
Objection!
Right, you have seen more than a couple of bodies in your lifetime. I doubted very much that the sight of yet another one, especially red whites, would have... Not even sure what word to use. I wouldn't say it's out of the question. Whatever you claim that occurred. Anything's possible. In imagination land? Your Honor, surely you... I agree with you, Mr. Edgeworth. No need to question that. No matter. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. You can't just ignore an issue. Is that so? And I suppose you'll have to watch me.
Objection!
The belt. How do you suppose White was already strangled when you arrived on the scene? And yet your belt appears to have been used in the murder.
Hold it!
Keyword here, appears. You could have just as easily have strangled him with something else. And then placed the belt around White's neck while I was out cold. Fair enough. Can't help but think there lies a better point of attack for you here, Miss Wright. Well, I just want to be thorough. Sometimes the easiest solutions are the best ones. Come, expose this man's charade at once. and the visitor list here. How? Sorry? How could you have possibly seen Maya Fey in that cell? I'm not sure. I suspect it was mainly the eyes, though. That's not what she means, right? And you know it. She's asking you how it's possible for Maya Fey, no, anyone but you and White, to have been in that cell. Just look at the visitors list. If you hadn't been paying any attention to the trial up to this point, you should have at least noticed it when signing in that night. You're the only one that passed the, guard. How did Maya Fey get into the cell? I don't know. I do have a theory, but I can't prove it. I am not surprised the slightest, I assure you. What is your theory? What answer that question? I have to ask you one, Miss June Rye. Why? Do you believe in spirits?
Objection!
I object on the basis of common sense. Stated 1,000,000 times if need be.
Hold it!
I never said my theory was based on something like that. Then you're wasting our time. Just let her answer the question, Edgeworth. Do I believe in ghosts? Spirits. Not ghosts. No, I don't. And why not? Why should I believe something I've never seen with my own 2 eyes? How can anyone believe in anything without seeing any proof for themselves? I see. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's what I saw in that jail cell.
Objection!
Sustained yet again. Mr. Wright, I am warning you, do not attempt to make a mockery of this court. Don't worry, no need for me to do that. In any case, unless there's something actually disproving my theory, I'd say I should move on.
Objection!
You can't just ignore an issue. Oh? What else do we have to cover? Is that so? It is. Mr. Wright, put simply, your story makes no sense. Compared to everything I've ever seen so far, you are not convincing me of your innocence. And I made such compelling arguments, too. Mr. Wright, I have had quite enough of this behavior.
Hold it!
Your Honor, please calm down. Mr. Wright, listen to me. I need you to tell the truth. You don't believe me. You know, I warned you earlier about being unsure. What side you're on. I'm starting to think you intentionally don't want anyone to believe you. Please, Mr. Wright, whatever might be the reason why you're doing this, it's not worth it. Believe that you're innocent and that you didn't kill anyone, but please, I need you to believe that I can prove that innocence. Help yourself and help me. Tell the truth. I don't want you to spend the rest of your life in jail for a story you made up on the spot. Thought I showed my trust when I chose you as my defense attorney. You didn't choose me, you accepted my offer. That's not the same thing. Please, whatever they say about you and whatever people here may think, you're a good person. I know that. I think I'm lying because of what people think of me. Public opinion never actually hurt me, and a different man would be standing before you right now. I know who I am. Nothing can influence that. Everything I do has always been for the same reason. For the truth. I don't think justice should come somewhere in there. Justice is irrelevant. What we believe as just is only a matter of perception. No. Truth is the only thing that matters. You say you fight for truth, yet you're standing here, lying. The path to the truths I seek isn't an easy one to walk. For other people, I imagine it's even harder. Or at least will be. What are you talking about? I gave you a choice, Miss Junrai. Gave you a choice to back out. To leave. And look at you now. Every step of the way hurts you. Do you think my truth will help that? It's not your truth, right? It's the truth. So you say. But I wonder if that's what you really believe in. Mr. Wright? You want the truth? Fair enough. I'll give you exactly what you want. Okay. There's nobody else at the scene. I killed White, strangling him with my belt. But that much you knew already. After doing so, I hit his head against the edge of his bed. And then I put some of his blood on the back of my own head. After this, I pretended to be unconscious until the police's arrival.
Objection!
What are you doing, Wright? Telling the truth? What's it look like? A fool doing foolishly foolish things. But this is what you wanted, isn't it? Wanted the truth, not more lies. Oh. This essentially confirms your entire case, doesn't it? Me and I thought you said you trusted the facts. Well, here you go. What in God's name are you playing here, Wright? Well, one usually plays a game, but I must inform you that there is no such thing here. Oh. That was my testimony. Would you like to cross-examine? Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. I think I can faintly see what he's doing. Rather, what he's already done. Oh God. So you lied like a dog? Yeah? You still are. Mr. Edgeworth. Withdraw, Your Honor. Yeah, this is exactly what he's been claiming this entire time. Why is this happening? I killed White, strangling with my belt. That much you knew already, yep. What are you saying, Mr. Wright? This is a confession. I believe that's what they're called, yes. Why are you doing this? Why would you just give us a false confession? There you go again, assuming it's false. You asked for the truth, and I'm giving it to you. I mean, hey, I understand why you doubt it. I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff myself. My assistant, she was prone to those kinds of things, too. She went and confessed to a crime she didn't commit, not once, but twice. In both cases, she was under the mistaken impression that she was the culprit, right? Suppose she was. She wasn't the kind to kill someone in cold blood, you know? Well, I suppose you never met the girl, so of course you wouldn't know. Why did you accuse her of being the killer not 5 minutes ago? Yes, I suppose it wasn't much of a lie, all in all. Besides, now that I'm confessing, we don't need to focus on her anymore, anyway. Mr. Wright, do you really expect me to believe that you're capable of something so brutal? Of course I do. We're total strangers, remember? Before you demanded I let you take my case, we'd never even crossed paths on the street before. Besides, I expected you to believe it because it's true. All the evidence has pointed to it from the start. While Miss Wyatt may be a stranger to you, I am most decidedly not. You're an almighty fool with a penchant for bluffing who's kind-hearted to a fault. Honestly, you're still the same bright-eyed child from our school days at heart. You really expect me to believe that Phoenix Wright murdered a man in cold blood? Well, maybe I just did what you did, Edgeworth. Oh yes, and what, pray tell, would that be? I grew up and became the demon defense attorney. I see. So that's what you mean. Right, I know that things haven't looked good for you lately, but this is completely ridiculous. This isn't about that, Edgeworth. Besides, if this was all so ridiculous, what are you doing at that prosecutor's bench? Just as I thought.
Hold it!
Why? Why would you do any of this? Isn't it obvious? I hit the victim's head against the bed and rubbed his blood on my head to fake being unconscious. So all meticulously planned for the sake of making it look like someone had knocked me out. That's not what I was asking, damn it! Oh. Well, that's all I'm gonna say on the matter. You'll just have to make a do with it. Me and I have turned whole cases around on less before. Fine. Add it to your testimony. Accepting the challenge, I see. Alright. Mr. Wright, I am the one who decides that. I see no reason not to indulge the defense's request, Your Honor. No objections? Fantastic. You're really intent on digging this hole even deeper, aren't you? You probably already know this isn't the first time I've been put on trial. First time was years ago, back when I was studying to be an artist. My late mentor was my lawyer. She had exceptional skill. Her death was a real tragedy. In any case, you know what she asked me to do during that trial? Same thing you've asked me to do now, to trust her and tell the truth, no matter how bad it was. But you're not doing that, are you? How can you know that for a fact? How can you truly know for a fact I'm lying here? Chief, she just accepted the truth. I trusted her, and she trusted me back. She took it, no matter how bad it was, and she pulled us both through unscathed. What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? If I trust you with the truth, you have to trust me, and vice versa. That's all. Stop, Mr. Wright. That's enough. You don't have to go through with this. Oh? This is what you asked for. And here it is. This is the truth. It's not my fault if you can't handle it. I did it. I killed that person. It can't be. This whole case. It can't be because of... It's not worth it. We can't keep going on with this. No way this is true. There's no way he'd kill someone. Which means there has to be a contradiction somewhere in here. Anywhere. I'll find it, even if it's the last thing I do. You could ask him why he didn't hurt him, bang his head against the wall. He meticulously planned this. No. That's not true. That's called denial, you know. Mr. Wright, would you consider yourself a stupid man? Well, not personally, no, but honorable men may beg to differ. Even then, I don't doubt that a lawyer of all people would forget the fact that medical reports are a thing. Blood without a wound is incredibly suspicious. Well, it's not like I had a better way of faking being unconscious. What do you mean? Of course you had a better way of faking it. Why didn't you do it for real? It's not like there was a shortage of things to hit your head on. wouldn't have been a hit, and it wouldn't have been hard. So how about it? Why didn't you just ram your head against something? Oh. That's it? Oh. Huh. I suppose I just didn't think of that. Must have been an oversight. Even though you said you meticulously planned the murder. It happens. Everyone forgets something important here and there. Besides, I'm confessing. There's really no reason why I'd lie, is there? Court is inclined to agree with Mr. Wright. There's really no reason not to accept his confession right now. The idea that this was merely an oversight seems likely enough. What, Your Honor? No buts. Return to your cross-examination, Miss Rye. Right. If this keeps up, he really is going to end up executed. Well, I'm out of ideas. Okay, there's a plan B we can do here. We tried his medical report to show that it wasn't meticulously planned. I guess we're showing all the obvious evidence. So visitors list. Meticulously planned this, huh? Ha, that's another one of his bluffs. Mr. Wright, if you meticulously planned everything to make it look like you were knocked out, and there's no way you'd have made such a massive blunder. Massive blunder? Me? Don't be silly. You know me. I'm the epitome of well thought out, careful plans. Really? Did your clever plan actually involve researching the location of the murder? Because if it did, why does this exist? Visitor's list? I'm afraid I don't follow. Think of it like this, Your Honor. Mr. Wright was knocked out. There'd have to have been a way. There'd have to have been some sort of attacker. Of course, no doubt he'd have tried to frame them as the real killer too. Right, because there would have had to have been a third party at the crime scene to knock him out. In fact, this was the whole reason that he pretended he was knocked out, wasn't it? Guilty as charged. Not the best choice of words there. Well, in any case, because of the visitors list at the jail, pretending a third party existed was impossible. After all, he was the only person to visit the entire block that day. Remember, Mr. Wright himself was the one to sign onto that list. Meaning he should have immediately seen that he was the only person there that day. Meaning, there would have been nobody to frame. Surely that much would have been cause for alarm when deciding to continue on with this plan, right? Ah. Right. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say to that? Nothing much. Suppose it must have just slipped my mind, that's all. Slipped your mind? Yeah, sometimes happens when you get old. You're in your 20s. You're way too young to use that excuse. Not that old. Ah, so you finally admit it. But what? Tried to get yourself killed here. I'm just telling the truth like you asked me to. Nothing to say I didn't just forget, is there? Court is inclined to agree with Mr. Wright. There's really no reason not to accept his confession right now. And the idea that this was merely an oversight seems likely enough. But, Your Honor. No buts. Return to your cross-examination, Miss Rye. Right. Damn it, if this keeps up, he really is gonna get executed. Alright, round 3. More of this edgy music. Do we hit this again with the other damning evidence? Nope, okay. Oh, this is new. If you meticulously planned this, why would you use your belt as the murder weapon? Wouldn't that point to you as the killer? Or more likely, it would make it seem like I was framed. You know, considering I was found unconscious. After all, you can't expect a killer to knock someone out and then not frame them. Huh, that makes sense. Guess this wasn't a contradiction after all. Alright, that was different. Well, I can't really think of anything else. Okay, that's just false, alright. Well, I'm lost again. Did I actually press this statement yet? You're really intending to dig this hole even deeper, aren't you? You probably already know, but this isn't the first time I've been put on Yeah. Yeah, we did. Stop, Mr. Wright. This is enough. You don't have to go through with this. Oh, but this is what you asked for. Here it is, the truth. It's not my fault if you can't handle it. I did it. I killed that person. It can't be because of... It's not worth it. You can't keep going on with this. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so, just to recap here what happened. I had to present both options. I don't know if I don't think I reloaded a save off screen. I'm pretty sure I saved after that first objection. But essentially, I had to present both of the right answers twice. And now, this is twice now that your objections have gone nowhere. Frankly, I'm inclined to just accept the defendant's confession.
Objection!
That is, you can't do that, Your Honor. I mean, the defendant. I just proved that. He clearly didn't plan the murder out, so... But murder is still a murder. It's quite possible that he came up with the entire plan on the spot after killing Mr. White. That would explain how he couldn't have remembered the details of the visitors list. And how he was in such a rush that he overlooked a major issue of the wound. Huh. I didn't actually think of that. Not the time to be growing a brain, Your Honor.
Hold it!
Come now, Your Honor. Wright's plan is absurd, even on paper. His confession is insane. Mr. Edgeworth, it is quite clear that you are not objective on the matter. I'm being completely logical, Your Honor. I'm afraid that I simply see no room for misinterpretation. Mr. White is dead, and it was possible for only one man. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but I'm afraid you are biased. I'm not quite sure how the prosecutor's office made such an oversight in giving you this case. I was willing to accept it at first, but it's quite obvious that you are... Right, for God's sake, the man is going to find you guilty. Whatever you're planning, whatever you were planning, stop it. You've lost too much to lose your life as well. Finally waking up, are you? It remains the court's position to accept the defendant's confession. Furthermore, as long as Mr. Wright was the only person who could have murdered the victim, this court doesn't see any particular reason for this case to go on. Shh. 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 Shoot! am I supposed to do? Every time I raise an objection, it just gets cut down. At the end, I'm just as useless as I always have been. Can't do anything right. They thought I could save the day this time. What was he doing? Why was he confessing all of a sudden? Is this all just some kind of revenge against me? Does he hate me that much? Haven't I suffered enough?
Hold it!
Your Honor, I once again urge you to listen to reason. Could we really say that Wright is definitely the killer? I'm sure there are still questions left in need of explaining. Like what, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, none spring to mind on the fly. And just what are you doing, Mr. Edgeworth? Just being thorough, that's all. Once again, the defendant was found in the victim's cell, faking being unconscious. On top of that, there were no other possible person who could have been there. Visitor's list attests to that. Even if there's no camera in the cell, we have that list. So, tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, could any other murderer possibly exist? Well, yes, I suppose that makes sense, but it should. It was your argument. Now then, if there are no further objections, this court has reached its conclusion. This court finds the defendant, Phoenix Wright.
Objection!
Oh? No. Excuse me, Miss Wright, I said. No. Your Honor, I can't let you end this trial. He won't fight for himself, so I have to fight for him. Suppose in the end, that's what defense attorneys do. That's ultimately why I'm here. I don't know why he's lying. It doesn't matter right now. I need to keep pushing. His Honor wants to end the trial, and I have a pretty good idea why. Eh? But I can't let him do that. No matter what kind of man he might be now. I'm still one of the few that remember the kind he was. And a murderer he was not. For better or worse. That's what I have to keep believing. I'm not done yet. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You've coaxed a very important question out of His Honor. And have I now? There's only one way forward, really. Mr. Wright is being considered guilty because he's the only suspect, right? What if another possible murderer could exist? Then you'd have to continue the trial. You'd have no choice. Another murderer? I don't see how that's possible, Miss Wright. But I can. That's what matters here, right? You can see? And here I thought... with the hair and all. Hey, at least I have hair. Any case. Miss Wright, as I have stated numerous times by now, I see no reason to prolong this trial. If Your Honor please, however, I will not have it be said that I passed the verdict that I have, because the defendant's past transgressions against this court. Know, however, that should you fail, there will be a consequence. There always are. Now that I have a double penalty hovering over my head, it's much scarier than I thought. Right, Your Honor. No problem. I know what I'm doing. Do you now? Well, this will be interesting, if nothing else. How far are you willing to go for this, I wonder? As far as I need to. You didn't kill anyone. And now, it's time to show it. The moment of truth. The list of suspects is as low as they get. So whoever remains is the only other possible suspect. It has to be the real killer. I mean, now that I think about it, it's simple enough. There was only one other suspect there that night. That suspect could have easily gotten past security for a very good reason. Alright, here we go. Showtime. Defense accuses the real killer of being the robot. When you eliminate the impossible, what remains must be the truth. Sometimes the simplest solution is the right solution all along. Vince accuses the only other thing that was at the prison that night. Isaac, the robot. Well, it's something. It's not much, but it's honest lawyering. Welcome back to the Assistant's Turnabout, and we're doing this. No, they do not! I can understand your desperation, Miss Rye, but this is bordering on a bad joke. I don't see why it would be. Because the guard in question is a robot! Well, your own detective warned you, didn't he? About the robot uprising? Besides, with all the shouting and sun-red eyes, we should have seen it coming from a mile away. It's not exactly an argument for an accusation. True, but it's still possible. The guard themselves were the killer. They never would have had this signed in, right? On top of that, they were there the whole night. They definitely had the opportunity. So with the security camera, why don't you accuse them as well? Face it, you don't have any evidence to support such a ludicrous claim. Well, there's the red flashing lights and the big exclamation mark. That's usually a bad sign. Furthermore, the victim was increasingly agitated in the days leading up to his death. Maybe he was afraid of the guard? Maybe the guard had tried to kill him before? What is this? Freddy Fazbear's animatronic murder hut? It's just completely ludicrous. There's absolutely no solid proof supporting this.
Objection!
I didn't need to prove anything, did I? All I had to do was provide a possibility. Well, this is certainly a possibility, isn't it? It's certainly something, but I wouldn't call it a possibility in the slightest. But you can't prove it didn't happen. And that's where you're wrong, Pinky Babe. I've got some ace evidence over here. Please don't call me that. Oh no, you're back again. Wait, what? Yeah, baby. Groovy. Sweeping in at the last second to save the day. That's America. That's my jam. Tubular. For the life of me, I still can't decide if you are trying to be a hipster or a country singer. It doesn't matter. You had something to share? All that took was knowing all the 411 on where people were getting some gnarly bean. Then all I had to do was squeal that dealio to the rest of the fuzz. Big time. Boom. Promotion. Mr. Edgeworth, translation, please. I have no clue, Your Honor. Detective, I suggest you'd better start making sense and getting to the point. Otherwise, I'm afraid you will have to leave the stand. Seriously, Daddy-O? Alright, no sweat, I'm on it. Legit. Okay, so I'm no herb, but even I figured the robot's not just there for show, right? So I called up the detectives in charge of the doohickey and had them fill me in on the lowdown. Well, get this, seems the middleman's around, so they don't have to guard the guard going off for a leak. After all, we'll be in some deep fudge if someone sneaked past while they were off having a whiz. I still have no idea what you're saying. Okay, this is wearing thin. Unfortunately, I do. I'm afraid that fact has completely slipped my mind. I don't get it. What does that have to do with proving the robot's innocence? Hey now, take a chill pill, doll. I'm getting there. So anyway, there's the visitors list to check the names of what guests were chilling at the cooler. But how do you suppose they double-check these identities if something mondo lame happens? I mean, you can't just leave everything up to machines, and those bad boys can get confused. It's rare, but a good enough disguise might trigger a bucket of nuts and bolts, right? Well, that's when a true, hard-working American jumps in and takes a look. What I'm saying is that Isaac's peeper, it's not just for seeing things. It's also a security camera. And would you believe it, scooping out that scene, our RoboCop doesn't leave once. Dude totally has an alibi for the whole night, for sure. Run that by me again. The robot has a security camera installed in it. Its tape showed that not only was Wright the only person on the scene, that the robot never left his post once until the time of the discovery. For you argue, the footage has timestamps which confirm all this, making it impossible for him to be the killer. Didn't really make much sense to begin with, if you asked me. Yeah, well, there's a reason for that. Ah, come on, don't be mad. You tried. And you did so after I told you that it was all hopeless. I would say sorry, but I wasn't exactly wrong, now was I? You? Me? See, I can ominously say my name too, it's not that hard. Right. I'll ask you one last time. Whatever you are doing here, you must stop. You keep saying that, but I can't say I know what you're talking about. Tell me, Edgeworth, if you never believed I was truly guilty, then why, just minutes ago, were you confidently stating that I was the only culprit? Did it take you all that time to realize that what you were suggesting could actually be true? Impossible to even imagine, I know. Maybe you just weren't thinking at all. Or did you maybe think I'd somehow turn it all around like I always did? They somehow found a magical last-minute out. I trusted the evidence. But I didn't want to believe it was true. I think that might be your exhaustion talking then. The Edgeworth I knew would have never said something like that. And the Wright I knew would have never taken a life. Would have never forged evidence either, but as you can see, things change. People change. The fact that you're letting your personal feelings toward me impair your judgment. How do you expect a fair verdict to be reached? Common sense tells you that I'm guilty and you wish to defy it. Everything points toward me. And yet your instinct tells you that I'm innocent, right? And the verdict isn't brought like that, is it? No, it's brought by a single man whose only job is to be swayed by either side. And meanwhile, through all this emotional conversation between prosecutor, defense, and suspect, the judge is sitting up here like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm just here to try a case, and you're all going off about feelings and emotions and shit, and I'm just fucking confused. I'm hungry. Mr. Wright, I will not tolerate this. As you shouldn't, Your Honor. I've already made my point anyway. I fail to see what it was. You all blindly follow the evidence. What if the evidence is what ultimately stops a fair verdict from being reached? I think those are the ravings of a bitter man that can't accept that he lost something he cared for. Evidence is evidence. Without it, then we might as well be blind savages. How you could have said something so frankly idiotic just now is beyond me. But that's not exactly what I meant, though. That is exactly what you meant. A fair verdict is not the same with the outcome you expected. Frankly, you are in no position to question my integrity. But fair enough. I will do as is my duty, then. I tried, right? I tried to act as a friend. I know. The prosecution has no further objections to Mr. Wright being the killer. It's strange you had to begin with, really. Wait, no, you can't. Of course I can. Still, I do have one last question. Why? If you killed him, tell me. Why? Why does that matter? Everything's as crystal clear as it's going to get. The motive can be simple, it can be complex, but it hardly changes what I've done. There is no justification for murder, is there? At this point, he's being overdramatic for the sake of overdramatics. Answer the question right. And why should I? Why shouldn't you? Mr. Edgeworth, I'm afraid I don't see how the motive changes the facts. At last we agree, Your Honor. People don't care about the why done it these days, anyway. This is not detective fiction, right? It's the question. Isn't it obvious? He killed Mia. And that's it? That's your reason for all this? You say that like there's a problem. Been quiet for a while, Miss Rye. Huh? Hope that you have been listening up to this point, yes? Yeah, sure. Let me ask you simply this. Where is the issue in what Wright has just stated? Wait, whoa, hold on. What did you mean? So you weren't paying attention after all. Wright has stated that his motive was Mia Fey's murder. And you take issue with that. You told me to trust my common sense, did you not? Well, common sense is telling me that you are an idiot. Because your explanation makes absolutely no sense. Just like the majority of your actions that night. Ah, I see. I had no doubt you would. So let me ask you again. Where is the issue in what Wright has just stated? We have to present evidence? Who's going to die anyways?
Take that!
That's in his profile? The heart must not be ignored, Mr. Wright. The heart is what makes us human. Oh, not you too. No matter what you may think, you are still very much human. So I will not ignore yours. You claim you killed him because of what I did to Mia, but it doesn't make sense. Don't know what you mean. Who am I kidding at this point? Why would you go out of your way to kill someone like Red White in the first place? After all, he was already on death row. Order! Order! In fact, this entire murder has never made sense from the start. Why would anyone have wanted to do this? All they had to do was wait 2 more years. It's been over 4 since Mia's murder. That's a fair point, actually. Surely you could have waited those 2 years out, couldn't you? And heck, even then, it doesn't make sense. You avenged Mia's death by being the person to convict him in the first place. Why is it that now, after 4 years, you suddenly developed an urge to kill him? There's just no rhyme or reason to it. So what? Oh, come on. Huh? Motive hardly changes anything. Oh my god. The facts. The evidence is still there. I fail to see an alternate explanation here. Who cares about the motive? I killed him. Are you listening to me? I killed him. Me. Why are you doing this? For the last time, I am not doing anything. Mr. Edgeworth. I stand by what I said. Good. At least you still value my advice. Face it. It's over. It's over before it began, really. I was an idiot making an idiot's choice. It's me now. Right back where I started, about to lose. I think I actually might have made the entire situation even worse. Should have just stayed home and not played this game. But of course not. Not me. Is that the theme of this game? I hate you, Phoenix. Does this game hate me for playing it? I hate you in this entire case. Me too, June. Me too. Then again. You hate me too, don't you? After all, under this bad makeup and this cheap wig, and this fake name and this badge I have no right to wear. It's still me. Eh? I'm still the same girl that ran away that night. Huh? The same person that wouldn't own up to the truth. Is that why you made up that story about seeing me in the cell? What? Was it spite? Was it hatred? Might as well have been. It's the kind of man you apparently are now. Or are you just as crazy as everyone says? Well, everyone always thought you were crazy anyway. Right. Nick? Okay. Huh. Well, this really was a waste of time, wasn't it? Tried to save you, and yet you... What have you done? Did you really do all this because of me? Did you see through my disguise and decide to send yourself to death? Knowing that it would destroy me. Knowing that I still care about you. Do you truly hate me that much? Things have turned out different if I'd never come. Guess I'll never know. It really is over this time. Well then, I'd say that we have reached a conclusion. While some unanswered questions still remain, the evidence here is quite clear. Yet I find myself with a question of my own, Mr. Wright. And what would that be, Your Honor? What happened to you? I presided almost all of your cases, and I will not pretend your successes in them were small. Amidst of such confusion and deception, you showed yourself to be quite remarkable, I must admit. And yet here we are. Yes, here we are. I have seen great men fall, Mr. Wright. Most of those falls were by your hand, now that I think about it. And yet, when it comes to your own, well, you shall never understand your actions. Today, or during that trial. And yet, why is it that I still must also apologize to you? It's occurred to me that I may have been somewhat harsh towards you today. This is, well, something quite unusual for me, I'm sure you will agree. I suppose I was disappointed. You are a fine young man, and for you to have found yourself in this position, I am saddened, Mr. Wright. And I am frightened for future generations. Sorry, Your Honor. For the moment, I have no answers for you. I figured as much, unfortunately. Let's bring this to an end, then. On the charges of murder, this court finds the defendant. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Is this what you wanted? Was this about attention? Did you want people to come for you and beg you to tell the truth? Did you just want to get into the court again, huh? You manipulated this entire situation. You were to throw your entire life away, and why? Oh, of course, you won't ever tell us why. Because you're Phoenix Wright, aren't you? Aren't you? Because the whole world has to answer for your plan, for your pain. You know what you are? You're cruel. Yeah, you've changed, all right. I hate you, you hear me? I hate you. Miss Wright, please calm down. You with your stubborn arrogance, with your pride. Always had to make yourself feel big, didn't you? No, I didn't. All I ever wanted was the truth. Yeah, well, this isn't it. We both know as much. And how so, hmm? 'Cause I still believe in you. Eh? I always will. Just no matter how bad things get, I'll keep pushing on. I'll keep fighting. As I always have. And so, if it's impossible, I'll still find a way. I'll still show that you're innocent. That's why, with all due respect, I believe you've had enough chances. I need just one more, Your Honor. Just one last shot. Okay, how the fuck are we gonna do this? Your Honor, if she is wrong, I doubt this trial will last for more than a minute. One chance. As I said, it's all I need, Your Honor. You really don't know when to stop, do you? With all due respect, Mr. Wright, I think you've said enough. Maybe I am an idiot for doing all this, considering what you've done so far. For you, I guess it's infectious. Well, we're certainly all ears. Go on, turn it all around. This is it. Remember everything from the very start. Must be something that I've missed here. The night of the murder, he visited the victim, Red White, at around 10. Signed in at the desk in the visitors' lounge of the prison. This is confirmed by the security robot. Then entered the cell and apparently killed White. The prosecution's proof for this is the belt, which is confirmed to have belonged to him. After the deed was done, he bashed White against the edge of his bed, placed some of White's blood on the back of his head, pretended to be unconscious. Earlier I tried pointing out how insane such a plan is, but he simply wouldn't budge. Fortunately, neither would the judge. After that, we don't know what happened until the next morning, when the scene was discovered. He was arrested. He made up a ridiculous story, which he later admitted was a lie. The one about Maya Fey supposedly being on the scene and being the true killer. And now he's confessing on the stand. But why? That's the question that always keeps coming back to me here. Why, and why? Why would he do all this? No matter how many times I bring it up, everybody just seems to pass right by it. If I'm going to save this case, I need to think of something else. Something concrete. Maybe something that Mr. Edgeworth missed. It's unlikely, but it's something I have to consider. If I go down that route, I can't stick with small problems. I need something huge. Not just throw doubt, but show flat-out impossibility. That's one way, at least. Another one would be to show that his case isn't decisive enough. Show some other explanation for everything that's happened. I need the evidence that points right to it. So, let's see. If there's another killer here, how did they get it? How did they get it? I tried suggesting the window, but it can't be accessed from the outside. Because of Isaac's camera, it's impossible for anyone else to have gone by him. It's like it's impossible for Isaac himself to have done this. So what am I left with here? How can I prove it? Whatever it is, it needs to be decisive and eliminate all doubts. One straight shot to pierce this entire case. Has anything changed? I discovered something new through this trial. Has it been staring me in the face since the start? Think! Think! I need to go through this again, or am I ready? I don't want to go through this. If I go through this again, I'll be here for 10 more minutes, so let's just do it. In that case, it seems we've reached the end of the road. Somewhere in those events, a contradiction that will save my case, and him. Remember, one straight shot. The evidence that turns this case on its head is... Gotta be the autopsy report, right? Because the autopsy report says 9:15, 9:35, but... She just told us that Nick got there at 10. Oh. My God. No. Just no way. I mean, yes, this is good. I mean, no, it's dumb. It's insane. At the same time, it's so indecisive. But it can't be true. This is what they call a mental breakdown. Oh, it's a breakdown, all right. Mr. Wright, you were asked quite a bit of questions today. You refused to answer most of them properly, but now I beg of you to tell the truth. The same thing you told me yesterday. When did you arrive at the prison? Arrived at around 10 p.m. You knew! You unimaginable idiot, you knew! You knew how to save yourself from the start! To be fair, so did you. Hardly my fault if you didn't remember it. I'm sorry, what are you talking about? Talking about how it's been staring us all in the face from the start. The trial really was over before it began. Because the simple matter is that if Phoenix Wright arrived at the prison at 10 p.m., then I have only 2 words to say to this court. Because if that's the case, then this piece of evidence undoes the prosecution's entire case. The autopsy report? That's right, Your Honor. The big contradiction in the facts was here all along. Let's take a look at the time of death recorded here. Between 9:15 to 9:35. What seems to be the problem with that? There's no problem with the time of death, per se. The real problem is with what Mr. Wright just told you. He arrived at 10 p.m., meaning the victim died before he ever arrived at the scene. There you go. Hold on just a second here. This is the first I've heard of this. Really? Sounds like basic facts to me. No. No, there's no way I would have missed something like this. Please. Please tell me you weren't lying at that time. You did arrive at 10 p.m., didn't you? Swear it on my life. Not really the best choice of words from what this trial has shown me.
Hold it!
No, I would have spotted this. Miss Wright, I understand wanting to save him, but this is a bit silly, wouldn't you say? Oh, Edgeworth, how I do love that pride of yours. It's the truth, simple as that. You said that quite a bit of times today, you know. Okay, but this time, I'm super serial. Mr. Edgeworth brings a fair point, I'm afraid. All we have is your word. Fine, and take the evidence. The evidence proving I arrived only at around 10 p.m. is the visitors list. Hold on, isn't this my job? Oh, right. 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 That's visitors list. Well, there are actually 2 of them. But, hey! One possibility is the visitor list. Imagine that it would record the time I signed it, no? Another one, much more conclusive. Timestamps, anyone? You said that the footage Isaac has of him entering has them, didn't you? Indeed. It will show without a shadow of a doubt that Wright arrived at... This is a horrible dream and I cannot wake up. Who would have thunk it? 10 p.m. it was. Which means... it's all a hallucination. Not really here. Means I'm innocent after all. Plot twist, right? How did I miss this? I don't believe it. So all this time, it was right there, the whole time. I don't. Tis. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. Shh, it's all gonna be alright. Plus, I actually told you you'd made a mistake. But you didn't listen. Then. What happened then? Who killed the victim? Red White did. Well, considering all the evidence, it could only have been one person, the way I see it. The person that really killed Red White was... Red White. It's been confirmed without a shadow of a doubt that Mr. Wright was the only person. That's why the bars are bent. Under that entire cell block. It's also been confirmed that the only guard, Isaac, is absolutely objective. He couldn't have missed someone entering, and he couldn't have been the one to do it himself. Which means that the culprit couldn't have entered the cell. The other method, the window, from what I've done to understand, doesn't work either. So up until this point, it was logical to assume for my client to be the only possible culprit. Now things are different, though. Now that I've proven that it was impossible for Mr. Wright to be the culprit. The question if there ever was one. You mean? The person that killed the victim, Mr. Red White, was Red White himself. This entire case was actually a suicide mistaken for murder. As I said, it's the only possible solution. Oh man, the looks on your faces. Oh man, I'm crying. I love it. You. What on earth is wrong with you? Do you see what I mean? He knew from the start. And yet again, so did you. Or at least you had the potential to. Wait a second, but then? The entire trial has been one gigantic waste of time? Yeah, yes it was! Actually, it's boosted you from an idiot to a downright psychopath! White was dead before you came, and that means... must have tampered with the scene. Ah yes, the tampering. I take it you're referring to this. Hold on, let me just remember how to do this properly. Navigate all the buttons and whatnot. What are you even talking about? Talking about the buttons, Edgeworth. And now him.
Take that!
Yes, the belt. The belt was still yours. Which means that you must have put it on him yourself after you'd found him dead. Why on earth would you do such a thing? Let's add a few more things to the why column, shall we? Why did you pretend to be knocked out in such an asinine manner? Why did you confess to killing him and not say anything to begin with? Wanted to prove a point. See, I guess you could say I've gained a little perspective during my time of sitting on the couch. And you want to know what I realized? Here we go again. Realized a certain truth. The truth that... during my time on the bench, all I'd really been doing was pointing out problems. People come to the stand, get things wrong, represent evidence, and we proceed. And yet, most of the time it was evidence that the prosecution already had. Evidence that the police already had as well. The testimonies that I listened to were the ones that they probably helped put together. So, why? Why is it that I was the one making the objection? What about the prosecution? What about the police, the detectives? They simply turn a blind eye to those things. Could they just not see them? Either way, it was quite troubling. Because suppose that I wasn't there during those trials. Suppose that there wasn't someone that came to question such problems. How many innocent people would be behind bars today? The thought is horrifying, really. What's even more horrifying is this trial. The truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, is that had the representatives of the law performed their duties, the trial would never have occurred. Right, you confessed. I did no such thing, Edgeworth. I claimed my innocence in the beginning. With a ridiculous story. But I claimed my innocence, nevertheless. Frankly, and even if I didn't, that doesn't excuse the police's pathetic investigation. I entered the cell that night and found Whitehair's dead. He'd hung himself with a sheet in his bed. Tied the other end to the window bars. Removed the other end and set up the scene accordingly. So you think that your goal was to be arrested from the beginning? Exactly. Guess you could have called it a bit of an experiment. Results of which I'm afraid have not surprised me. Putting aside the issues with the timestamp, there are a billion other things that don't make sense. Like, Wright hung himself with his bedsheet, later wrapped around his neck with my belt. If he had taken a closer look at the body, he would have seen that there were 2 different strangulation marks around the man's neck. Oh, he would have also probably picked up that the belt was tied around his neck after death. Were any of these discoveries made? No. Because the police were so convinced on the circumstances that they probably didn't bother. Same way they never bothered in the majority of my cases, I imagine. Right. The other numerous issues were pointed out by the defense earlier. Motive, my strange and illogical actions, my flat-out lies. I wonder how this trial would have ended had she not been here. Your Honor, why did you, for example, not question this? Further, you yourself admitted to the fact that you had a certain opinion of me. So much so that it would have probably led to an unfair verdict. I cannot deny this. I understand you perfectly, Your Honor. You are only human, after all. Oh, let's get Ace out here to try our cases. At the same time, you are the judge, and it is up to you to bring an objective verdict. Quite a task for just one man, would you not agree? And you, Edgeworth, why did you not pick up on any of these issues? Was it because you were assigned the case literally at the last minute? Was it because the investigation period was simply pathetically short? Was it because you were tired and overworked like a dog? Well, either way, you didn't pick it up. See, I wasn't just talking nonsense when I said that the evidence is what stops a fair verdict from being reached. This evidence can be misinterpreted, not found, forged, mishandled. Sometimes the lack of evidence can stop a man who is so obviously guilty to walk away scot-free. That's a weird sentence. Your Honor, no, not just you. Everyone who can hear my voice now. I ask you, is this a fair system? Is this what you consider to be a path to justice? I say no. Ladies and gentlemen, I may have lost my badge, but I have not forgotten who I am. I am still a man of the court. Because no matter what you may think of me, the man under the hat hasn't changed. I am Phoenix Wright. And I will return. That's a promise. And change will come with me. Until then, laugh. Laugh at this broken system. That's all I've got. Thank God. Well then, it seems we've reached a conclusion. If there are no other objections, I will now hand down my verdict. Please, no more objections. Court of Red White, this court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. That is all. This court is adjourned. That's not true. Sorry? You're not the same man you used to be. The old Phoenix Wright wouldn't have gone that far just to prove a point. He wouldn't have done something this stupid. The old Phoenix Wright. Yeah, sounds about right, I guess. Guess the hat must have special powers. That was my judgment and whatnot. But you're saying you were always like this. No. I've merely adapted to the rules. I used to believe a lot of things, and recently came to realize a lot of them weren't true. The world just isn't the way I wanted it to be. I suppose I was idealistic and naive. You're still lying, aren't you? Huh? Everything you just said. But talk about making a point. It was all a lie, wasn't it? What on earth makes you say that? You make a poor poker player. Even worse, liar. The Phoenix Wright I knew fought for what he believed in. He would never call faith in his clients or hope for a better tomorrow naive. What was all of this really about? Who knows, then? Maybe I actually did kill him. You didn't. Oh. It would be a nice plot twist at the end. Stop screwing with me! For once, tell me the truth! Please? But I have told you the truth. Right at the start. What are you talking about? Maya Fey killed Red White. That's all there is to it. What? It's not true. Well, you'll excuse me. It's not true and you know it. Stop playing games with me, please! Hey, wait a minute. Wait! I was there, Phoenix. But no, I wasn't laughing. Even now, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel. Even after she saw through your game, you still lied to her in the end. I know what you're really after, but is it truly worth it? I'm not sure. No, probably not. Won't change anything, Phoenix. The why never does. She was my sister. She still is. I'd already told you that. I told you not to blame her. Some would probably find it strange after all things considered, but I love her. I always will. Please, leave her alone. No matter what you may think of her now. She's been through enough, Phoenix. She probably won't be able to give the answers to your questions, regardless if she wants to. It's a long tale of tragedies. I'm partially to blame for some of them. A long, long tale. We've had a lot of those. Oh, Maya. What? Don't touch it. I wasn't gonna. Yeah, you were. No, I wasn't. Shut up. I'm telling you, Maya, don't touch that vase. I'm just looking at it. I know, that's the problem. 'Cause it usually ends with you touching stuff. You touch stuff, it usually gets broken. I'm telling you, I won't break it. But you didn't deny that you were gonna touch it? I wasn't gonna do that either. Maya, listen to me. If you touch that vase, Aunt Morgan is gonna get mad. But I'm not gonna touch it. Why won't you believe me? Okay, I believe you. Just calm down. Okay, great. So can I touch it? Maya! Oh, come on. I promise I won't break it. You will too. Why won't you believe me? Because you're evil? No, you're evil. Man, all you guys do is get mad at me. Because there's a time for play and a time for duties, Maya. But it's always duties. It's so boring. Why do you want to touch that vase so bad anyways? I don't know. Maya, you... Okay. Fine, you can touch it. Really? You break it, I'll tell on you. Don't worry about it. Let me just... Oh, what a... There it goes. Oh, crap. Ah, I broke it! Oh, Maya. Looking back on everything, I understand why. Perhaps I should be the one to ask for forgiveness. Where are you going? I'm going to study. What? Why can't you study here? I already told you. It's not how law school works. Why are you going away? And why can't you come back home like always? It's far from here. Maya, I already told you all this. But why? Why are you going to study? What's so important? I want to be a lawyer. But you're a mystic, Maya. A mystic's there for a reason. Please, don't go. I'm sorry, Maya. This is something I have to do. I have to go. No, you don't. You can stay. Nobody's forcing you to leave. It's because I hid your shoes the other day. Please don't leave because of that. It's not because of that. Don't worry. This isn't your fault. But I don't want you to go. Sometimes it's not about what we want, Maya. Sis, it's not like I'll be gone forever, you know? It's not like we won't keep in touch. You have your cell phone, right? Yeah? So there you go. Maya, I won't abandon you, I promise. But I know. I know. Morgan said that I'll become master now. Yes. Yes, you will. I don't wanna. Well, maybe not now, but trust me, you can do it. Aya, you'll grow up to do a lot of great things. You're going to save this village and restore its name. You're going to show them all that we're not just a bunch of... Anyway, What about you? Why don't you want to become master? Well, not all of us are destined for greatness. That's a lame answer. Yeah, I know. Don't worry, Maya. You'll never be alone. Okay? Okay. Time passed. Things happened. Most of them bad, unfortunately. I kept my promise. I didn't abandon her. At least, that's what I believed. Whew. Sorry I'm late. Traffic's a nightmare today. Ah, it's fine. I went ahead and ordered for you. Really? Or did you just order double for yourself? Oh, don't worry. I made sure to get myself a few extra burgers. A few? I expected you would make up for being late. I guess you got me there. So what's up? Oh, you know, the usual. Someone almost called the cops on Wright today after he tried breaking into the office. What? Turns out he'd lost the keys. Again. Jeez, what a klutz. He really is one, isn't he? A bit transparent, too, if you were to ask me. Still not sure if he'll be ready when his first trial actually comes around. Don't get me wrong, he has talent. Like, I'm pretty sure he's a genius. A genius that forgets his keys? Such a thing as incompetent geniuses, I hear. That's why I'm not exactly sure if he should be defending anyone anytime soon. That is, unless the client wants their verdict to be guilty. Are you really sure taking him in was a good idea? I never said I was doing any better at his age. All rookies are pretty much idiots charging in blind, expecting to win every battle. Do you know when a rookie becomes a true lawyer? When they've tasted complete and utter defeat. And they give it their all, go down every possible path, try every explanation, present their case like a Von Karma, and yet they still lose because of circumstances outside of their control. It's sad, but that's how it is. Sorry, I'm rambling on about things you probably don't care about. What about you? How's your training going? Fine. Really? Tell me about it a bit more. Well... I had a question. How many employees do you think you'll have? Eh? Employees? Well, paying Wright as an assistant is hard enough. Can't imagine I can afford anyone else, really. So you won't have to worry about that kind of stuff. You have people who are loyal to you, who will care about you. You're doing your best, right? Yeah, I am. Good. Do great things, Maya. That's what they keep telling me. Wow, the food here is really good. Hey, sis? Never mind. Eventually, all illusions come to an end. I was holding a ticking time bomb in my hands. It was only a matter of time before it finally blew up. And who am I supposed to blame for the bomb itself? Myself for not defusing it. I don't believe it. I can't believe some creep actually came in here and attacked you. It's fine, Maya. It still hurts from that thinker, but... What? It's still intact, at least. Sure? Sure. Thinks I'm dead. Guess he'll be surprised once we call the police, huh? Yeah. Dead. Do you want me to get some aspirin or something? Oh, God, no. Just let me sit down for a bit here. Job. Decent safe after all, huh? Well, I knew what I was getting into. Huh. And hey, it's better than wasting my days in that village. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Send me away to Aunt Morgan. What kind of life is that? Oh, come on. Huh? Kept telling me I would do great things. Huh. That's a good one. Oh, come on. Nobody trusts us anymore. The entire clan is as good as dead. Oh, come on. Sis? I don't envy you at all, Maya. Really don't. You. Oh. No, you're lying. Wish I was, Maya. You wish I was. Well, this certainly explains some things. These years, all that training was... Hey, you think you could open up the window? It's way too hot in here, if you ask me. Maya? Maya, what are you doing? You lied to me. Maya? Maya? To hell with you and your stupid clan. Wait, no. No. Sis, I didn't mean to. No. Cry, Maya. Don't you remember what I told you back when you broke that urn? When things are at their hardest, that's when I need to smile through the most, right? Good. You remembered. You're okay? I've been better. Getting harder to breathe. So much blood. I'm not getting out of this one, am I? Okay, sis, hold on. I'll go get some bandages and some water, and I'll fix this. It's okay, Maya. No, that fixing things was never your strong suit. Don't say that. I fixed the urn just fine. Do you hate me? No. No, never. Never, you hear me? Listen to me. Listen to me very well. First, I'm sorry. Hope you can forgive me. What are you saying? For what? I'm the one who's sorry. Listen, I'll call an ambulance. Everything's gonna be you. Maya. Please don't go yet. I don't want to be left alone again. Please. Oh, Maya. Please. You promised. Please, I'm so sorry. It's fine, Maya. You have nothing to be sorry for. Now, there are two things I need to tell you before I go. Don't say that, sis. I can call an ambulance. Where's the phone in here? No, don't. But I said don't. At this point, an ambulance would only make things worse. And if I die before they get here, police will think that. No. They will think that no matter what. Just listen to me. Remember that man, Mr. Grossberg, I told you about? Yeah, I do. I need you to contact him as soon as you can. He'll help save you. After what you did to my family, Marvin, better not let me down. Next, I want you to take care of Phoenix for me. Huh? Yeah, I guess I just keep throwing jobs at you, huh? Selfish, but I just don't want this office to die with me. Sis, I can't, because last time I took on an important job like this, you let me become a lawyer. I don't want you to leave again. Well, that's a moot point, isn't it? Chin up, Maya. It's not like we'll never meet again. We are spirit channelers. After all. Goodbye, Maya. No matter what happens, never be alone. I know I haven't exactly been good on my promises, but this one I'll make sure to. Sis, you still there? Sis, you're not, are you? Sis? Sis! That explains why the game started the way it did. Sis. Chief? Chief? Someone's here? And now we get to play the case. And now we get to play case 1. Yeah. Now we get to play case 2 of the first game, all in its entirety, through this lens. I guess you could call it a cruel twist of irony. Most would probably call it a miscarriage of justice, though. I killed my sister. Never answered for it. Instead, someone equally as horrible got to be sent to death. I'd be lying if I said I felt any pity for Red White. He got what he deserved. I didn't fare much better, though. My prison doesn't have walls, but it's still just as bad. I was happy for the next couple of years. It really was. Sooner or later, it all caught up with me. After everything that had happened in those past few months, I decided to tell the truth to the one person I hoped would understand. Didn't. Couldn't. I don't blame him. In the end, what I'd done was unforgivable. So I ran away. Everyone and everything I knew. Abandoned my training and my village. My time as assistant was obviously over as well. There were countless times when I wanted to go back, but The only place I wanted to return to had no place for me to return anymore. So here I am now, alone. Right? Talent agency. Well, I guess he had to turn to something. I still can't believe he managed to leave me all the way here. He's gotten way faster since the last time I saw him. Maybe I've just gotten slower. Either way, here I am. Not sure why anymore, though. He hates me. Nothing will change that. So, why should I even bother? What's the point anymore? I came back, but it was all for nothing in the end. I should just go. Let's leave. No, can't do this. I said everything there is to say that night. Best I just go. What it's worth, Nick. I'm sorry. It's still light. I wonder if I have time for one more stop before I leave the city. What? Make a stop? Okay. If it's the last time I'm here, guess it wouldn't be fair to leave without going to that place. Hey, sis. It's been a while, I guess. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm bothering trying to talk to you like this. I mean, in the end, this is just a rock, but... I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping you're here. I saved Nick. I think. Maybe. Not really, no. In the end, I walked away. Would you have done the same, sis? Would you have walked away? Would you have begged for forgiveness? I bet you would have just asked him why he was acting like an idiot. I just don't know anything anymore. Every decision I've made up to this point feels like the wrong one. Everything I do ends badly. Everyone I care about leaves. Mom, you, Nick. Is there even anything left for me out there? What am I supposed to do now? Huh? Who's there? Ah! Jumping Jehoshaphat! No need to jump, you know. Ooh, that startled me. Mr. Grossberg. Oh, I see that my reputation has managed to reach even a youngster such as yourself. May not be in my prime as I once was, but I am far from willing to be forgotten. My prime on its own is noteworthy enough, I should say. God. Oh, how it does take me back, all back. Ah, the days of my youth. Like the scent of fresh lemon, you see. Shut up. May not be the best thing to talk about when standing in the middle of the cemetery, admittedly. But yes, Marvin Grossberg at your service, my dear. What are you doing here? Ah, well. I was just in the vicinity and, thought I would pay my respects, that's all. Now that I have a good look at him, he is carrying flowers. Someone you knew? I mean, we both did, by the looks of it. I mean, Mia. Yes, Mia. It's a sad story regarding that one. She was my star pupil. I taught her everything she knew. From the start, she was a real go-getter, you know? Throwing herself into cases and whatnot. You learn quick. She achieved her first win, on only her second time in court. She was a talented lawyer, wasn't she? Oh, one of the finest. She truly grew to do great things. It's a tragedy what happened to her, really. Prime example of bad things happening to good people, I tell you. Perhaps I've grown too sentimental for my age, but it is truly an injustice. But that's life, most people tell me. She may have passed away, but the memory of her still remains. even if someone may not be entirely pleasant. What do you mean? Oh, nothing. Just an old man thinking out loud. Quite rude of me, I must admit. What about you, my dear? What about me? He was always a socialite. More than me, at least. You were a friend of hers, I hope. Oh. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I just... Ah, but there I go, being rude yet again. I haven't even asked for your name. It's... June. June Rai. Oh, like the bread, you mean? Exactly. Like the bread. And oh my. Is that an attorney's badge I see on your lapel? Oh, well, that's, Now, regardless of what you might have heard of, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Telling them all that the dog age nonsense is, well, nonsense. I'm sure Mia would have agreed. Yes, almost positive. Although, you must be a greenhorn, then. And how do you figure that? It's not because of the suit, my dear. What's wrong with my suit? It's... maybe the fact that I've never heard of your name. It's a big world out there, you know. True. Not everyone has to be Phoenix Wright, I suppose. He's quite a fine young man himself. Nasty business what happened to him, though. Ah, but there I go, rambling yet again. Yes, you are. No, it's fine, really. Although, can't help but feeling we've met somewhere before. It's probably just your imagination, sir. Now, please don't rub salt on it. Sir. Well, it's been nice talking to you, Miss Rai. Perhaps you should stop by my office sometime. I know how hard it is for young ones like you to be taken seriously these days. And, well, I'm not exactly what I used to be. But from time to time I am inclined by my good conscience to share the workload. Who knows? Perhaps I might get my hands on a case that interests you. Oh. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, sir. Basically surrendering the things of youth, some would call it. One generation to the next. It is our duty to help you build a future, my dear. All of you have the potential to do great things. Yes. Ah, but I've rambled enough. Yes, I have. Good evening to you, Miss Rai. Practically offered me a job after talking to me for less than 10 minutes. Never figured it would be like that, to be honest. Guess this is what your badge does to people, huh, sis? Think, me actually coming back there and pretending to be an attorney. Hiding behind this mask. I can't believe it worked the first time. And yet, looking at all of this, what I am, what I have now, be hiding behind a mask wouldn't be so bad after all. It would be a chance for something new. Something better. I never checked my credentials the first time, so I'd learned more than enough from watching him. So I could actually... And I mean, in the end, everything's said and done. I would still be me, wouldn't I? No, that's not true. I would change. I would become someone else. I wouldn't have to be Maya Fey anymore. Wouldn't have to think about the past anymore. Get to be someone else. Wouldn't I, sis? My god, we're still going. Very well, here we go, as they say. Just remember, don't be nervous. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Well, it never hurts to double check, you know. Court is now in session. Is the prosecution ready? The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Don't worry, Rookie, I'll make this short and sweet. Very well. Defense? Defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh, she went with blue. Cute. Sworn we'd met before, young lady. Memory serves you well, Your Honor. My name is Rye. June Rye. Okay, in the end, that is kind of that is a sweet ending. Even if this got a bit wordy and there it is. There it is. That trademark dude with a mask, depression and hopelessness.
As you're buried underneath the ground,
Oh, there goes the
I think back
content
to
ID.
your gaze, your blissful innocence tempting me. I remember the way, even though I'm sure it's never to be. It's too late now, I know. But how can I resist remembering you though? Tell me, why do sins exist at all? Please tell me why you punish for what we are. I can't stand to replace your memories with mistakes. The darkness here settles in, and my heart starts to ache. Nothing's changed around me, but inside I'm trapped now.
Said the Uncle Edgeworth, you're back. So, how did it go? Well, it turns out you were quite right. Despite the ridiculous odds against him, he survived. Like he always has. Aha! See? I told you there was nothing to worry about. Now you'd wasted 3 whole days thinking about it for nothing. And lost so much hair in the process. I mean, no offense, but you look terrible. Honestly, I'm surprised you didn't fall asleep during the trial or something. Let's see, I told you. Daddy can get out of anything. He's practically a bloody escape artist at this point. Ooh, now you're thinking. Could build a show around that. I hope not. I suppose I really was wasting my time. Preposterous of me to think Wright would have actually gone to jail for once. God forbid that luck of his had run out. If it had, I would have probably killed him before he ever left the courthouse. Get his point. It's apparent now. Idiot almost... So are we going home now? I imagine so. And then if I'm lucky, I will be treated to some much-needed rest. The end. As interesting as the as interesting as the premise was, I can't help but feeling a bit Edgeworth about all this. And in the end, it was all a waste of time. I mean, the premise is interesting once we actually were told what the premise was in a series of really long dumps late in the game. Like, it all got pulled back together in the end. And I gotta give credit where credit is due for writing this in a way that we really didn't notice the obvious contradiction because we were going over everything else. But ultimately, banging my head against the wall in a case where nothing changes and nothing's learned for 2 hours isn't really all that enjoyable. Especially when I mean, obviously there's a realistic point to a client who's very much actively hiding the truth, but he just kept doing it like a stubborn bastard. Where most people would take some interest in their own defense, but the whole of Nick's point there was uh, really frustrating. Did he know that June was Maya this whole time? And specifically went on hiding the truth in order to fuck with her? Was the point he was making about he's the one to find problems that the prosecution missed his way of saying, his way of eulogizing on the one mistake he made at the very beginning? When he got Maya off, when apparently Maya was not innocent? That's just... the build to that being the twisting event was... it made sense in terms of motivation, in terms of execution. You gotta stretch a little bit to make it fit into the events of that as we'd normally expect. But sure. Oh, like in a lot of fan cases like this, like the case and the puzzle of solving the case plays second fiddle to the character drama. Most of the time, most of the time it really works, but I just I'm on Edgeworth's boat this time. In the end, this was all a waste of time.